Alright, it's Henry again, and today I'm starting on my next Gunpla project, and that is the Oz project, the Mercurius and Vayeate. So, I finished my 1 to 100 scale Virgo 2, and I really like the way it looks. I think it looks great, but the area in which that kit suffered was posability. The posability was almost non-existent on that kit. The articulation was there, but the range of movement was terrible. So that is an issue that I've decided to tackle head-on with Mercurius and Vayeate, and I've already made substantial progress in that, which you'll see over the course of this video. So, I will be doing Mercurius and Vayeate simultaneously. I'll be building both of them at the same time. I'll be finishing them both at the same time. And I really don't think that's going to be too much of a challenge since their bodies are exactly the same, with the exception of the antenna. And a lot of the parts are exactly the same as Virgo's, so I can use all the parts that I've recast from Virgo. Like these parts you see here, for example. The feet, ankle armor, lower leg, upper leg, the waist section, lower torso, all exactly the same as Virgo. The arms are exactly the same as Virgo. The hands. The only things I'm going to have to scratch build for Mercurius and Vayeate are new side skirts, a new upper torso, a new head, shoulder armor, and of course the weapons. So, like I said, first off I wanted to tackle the articulation issues, and what I've done is I thought about using some aftermarket joints, but the ones I was using some Kotobukiya W joints. They gave me the range of movement I wanted, but they just weren't the right size and shape. So I basically took the idea of the Kotobukiya W joint and made one myself out of pla plates, and made it the correct size and shape that I would need for a 1 to 100 scale mobile suit. And I made them intentionally generic and featureless so that I can recast these and use them on not all of the other Oz Project mobile suits, but I intend to use them on Leo, Tragos, and Taurus. So I'll definitely be getting some use out of these. And the joints are actually pretty simple. They're only 4 parts. As you can see, I got 2 little T-shaped axis joints there. And then I've got this block right here, and this little plate right here that's going to go on top of it. And it's really simple. You just put the little T-shaped parts in there, and then put this guy on top, and there you go, there's your knee joint. It's going to plug into the lower leg, plug into the thigh, and you'll be able to get a full 180-degree bend out of that. And despite being plastic on plastic with no polycaps, it's actually really nice and tight and smooth movement. I think the durability is actually really good. It doesn't feel brittle, or I'm not scared that I'm going to break it. It actually feels really solid, so that's definitely a good thing. The elbow joint is the exact same thing, only smaller, using smaller T-joints. These, by the way, these little T-shaped pieces of plastic, I just cut those off of a runner from a plastic model kit. I think I cut them off of Master Grade Banshee's runner, if I remember correctly. And those will just sandwich together like that, and you got your elbow joint. Again, 180-degree bend works really well. So the next step after making these new joints was recasting them, and I've already made a mold of them. As you can see, here's the elbow joints and the knee joints right there. And another area where Virgo and Virgo 2 suffered in articulation was the hip. I was using a ball and socket hip joint, exactly the same one that was on the 1 to 100 scale Tallgeese that I based the waist section on. So what I did was I took one of my master grade Zaku 2 version 2.0s and took the hip joint from that kit and just made a mold of it. It's only 2 parts, very, very simple, but it will give me really, really nice movement. And yeah, that's what it ends up looking like. Again, just 2 parts. This part will just plug into that hole right there, and it'll give me all the movement I need, and should give me a better range of movement than the ball and socket joint that I had been using. Here is the recasts of the knee and elbow joints. So you can see I just made a main little channel right there to pour the resin in, and then kind of offshoots into all the other parts, and they all get cast all at once. So now that I've explained how I made the joints, let's see how they actually work. Here I've kind of assembled one of the legs to the waist section. Now here you've got this Zaku 2.0 hip joint in here. I chose that particular hip joint because it's shaped exactly the same as the hip joint that would be on Virgo and Mercurius and Vayeate and Tall Geese and all those other Oz mobile suits. So forward movement is excellent. You got a full 90 degrees forward. Got it connected via a polycap in here, by the way. Backwards movement, not quite so much. It's going to go back a little bit, but then again, you're not going to be moving the legs back too much anyway. Outward movement is about that far, but I think I can make it go out even further if I sand down the top of that joint a little bit, and maybe even grind out some more area underneath this waist section. And then you've got 360 degree rotation at the hip right there. The knee joint, so you can see there it is. This is a resin recast of it, and I already made a little knee armor right there, and you do get a full 180 degree bend, and I know it looks really weird, but that's just the way it worked out. Connecting this piece of armor to the knee joint was actually kind of an afterthought. I didn't think it was I thought it was gonna bend like that, the way it did on Virgo, where this was actually connected to the lower leg and the foot just came off. But I was able to connect that to the knee joint, and it actually works out pretty well. I think it has a nice kind of moving armor look to it. I always like it when Bandai does that on their kits, and I like to try and replicate it on my scratch builds as well. And the ankle armor is exactly the same, foot's exactly the same. I didn't bother making any changes to it. So anyway, that's the leg. Let me show you the elbow joint. Again, resin recast, and you get a full 100, almost 180 degree bend, maybe like a 175 degree bend, but still much, much better than anything my Virgo or Virgo 2 kits had. So I think I'm really, really happy with this. And the resin recast of the joints seem to be holding up pretty well. They don't feel too loose. The knee joint's a little bit loose, but this elbow joint is nice and tight. And even if they are a little bit loose, I can always tighten those up a little bit with a small dab of super glue. So anyway, that's what I've done so far this week. Actually, not even a week, because I finished Virgo 2 on Sunday, and today's Friday, so just 5 days I've already gotten this much done. I've definitely hit the ground running as far as Mercurius and Vayeate are concerned. So I think for the next work in progress video, I'm going to start scratch building some stuff. More than likely I'll start on the upper torso and the head, as well as cleaning up and articulating the rest of the legs and arms. So that about does it for this video, and with that, I'll see you guys next time.